Have you ever looked at your chart, even with a volume profile, and felt like you're still missing a piece of the puzzle? What if I told you the real story isn't about how much was traded, but where the market decided to turn on a dime? Today, we're going to look at an incredible tool that maps out those exact turning points to build a profile of what the market is really thinking.
Okay, so let's jump right in by questioning a tool that a ton of traders swear by, the volume profile. Now look, it's a fantastic tool for getting context, but it's got its limits, right? Especially when you're in markets where the volume data can be a little, well, sketchy.
So, this is the big question we're tackling today. What if we could just build a profile of the most important levels on our chart without using a single tick of volume data? It's a total shift in perspective, and it's what this is all about.
And this slide just nails the difference. A volume profile is great, but it really just tells you where the party was, where all the trades happened. The pivot point profile, on the other hand, tries to show you why the party stopped or started by focusing on those moments of decision, those key turning points in the price structure.
I mean, think about it. Every single market leaves behind this trail of clues, right? These little pivots, the swing highs and swing lows, and they aren't random. They are literally the footprints of the battles between buyers and sellers. This indicator scoops up all those footprints and builds you a map of the most important battlegrounds on your chart.
So how does this tool actually show you that story on your chart? Let's take a look. It basically takes all of that historical pivot data and turns it into this really clear, objective heat map of the levels that matter.
So to put it formally, what is the pivot point profile? Well, think of it just like a histogram on the side of your chart. But instead of counting volume, it's counting how many times price is reversed at specific levels. It's a profile built entirely on turning points, not on transactions.
And the way it looks on your chart is super intuitive. The red bars, they show you a whole bunch of swing highs, flagging areas of potential resistance. The blue bars, that's a cluster of swing lows, pointing you to potential support. And those bright highlighted zones, that's what we call the concentrated area. It's where the market has the strongest memory, the price levels it just can't seem to shake.
And here's the absolute key. These clusters of past pivots aren't just pretty data points from history. They have this incredible tendency to predict where price is going to react in the future. They almost act like magnets for support and resistance.
Now, you're probably thinking, okay, this is cool, but why should I use this over something I already know and trust, like a regular volume profile? That's a fair question. Let's break down some of the biggest advantages.
The perks here are pretty huge. First off, it's completely objective. You don't have to draw a single line on your chart, it does the work for you. But the real superpower is that it's totally independent of volume. So if you're trading in decentralized markets like Forex or crypto, where volume data can be, well, a total mess, this is an absolute game changer. And this is the fundamental idea that makes this tool so powerful. It's analyzing the effect, which is the price swings, rather than trying to analyze just one of the potential causes, which is reported volume. It's kind of like studying the ripples in a pond, instead of trying to guess how big the rock was that you threw in. It's just a cleaner, more direct way to read what the market is actually doing.
All right, any really good tool has to be flexible, right? You got to be able to make it your own. So let's take a quick look at how you can fine-tune this indicator to perfectly fit your trading style and whatever market you're looking at.
First up, you get to choose the engine, so to speak, that finds the pivots. You can go with the traditional fractal pivots that many traders are used to, or you can switch it over to SMC structure, which uses a more modern logic, kind of like what you see in smart money concepts, to find those significant highs and lows. Next, you get to control how much of the chart's history it looks at. You can set the look back to a specific number of recent pivots if you want to focus on recent action, or you can just flip on Use Full Chart History to get the whole big picture all the way back.
Now think of row size as the resolution setting on your camera. If you use a lower number, you get fewer, bigger rows. That gives you a broad, simplified view of the major zones. If you crank up the number, you get more rows, giving you this super granular, high-definition look at every little level.
And honestly, this might be my favorite feature for quickly getting a feel for a chart. When you enable concentrated areas, the indicator automatically highlights the hottest, busiest zones for you. It's like having a built-in spotlight that instantly shows you which levels you need to pay attention to.
Okay, theory is all well and good, but let's see how this thing actually performs in the wild. We're going to walk through a simple, step-by-step trading setup to see how you can use the pivot point profile to build out a complete, actionable trading plan.
So for this example, let's pretend we're looking at the US 30 index on the 1-hour chart.
Our whole goal here is to find a high probability zone and then look for a really clean entry.
So here's our 4-step plan. First, we set the row size to 25. This helps us filter out the noise and just focus on the really big significant pivot zones. Second, we need some confirmation, so we add another tool. In this case, it's an indicator called the Smart Trail, which acts like a dynamic support and resistance line. Third, we just wait for our setup. We want to see price break through one of those key pivot zones and then pull back to test our Smart Trail. And finally, step 4, we manage the trade. We place our stop loss right above the recent high and set a very clear profit target.
And the result of all that careful planning? The setup played out beautifully, hitting a clean 1 to 1.5 risk-to-reward ratio. Not bad at all.
So let's just boil this all down real quick. The pivot point profile builds a profile using nothing but pure price structure. It objectively finds key support and resistance for you. It turns all that past swing activity into a predictive map of your chart. And it's super customizable for any trading style you can think of.
And honestly, here's the best part. This isn't some super expensive exclusive tool you have to pay a fortune for. You can actually get your hands on the pivot point profile for free on platforms like TradingView. It's part of the LuxAlgo Library.
So that really just leaves us with one final question to think about. Instead of only looking at where the trades happened, maybe it's time we start focusing on why they happened and start reading the real story our chart has been trying to tell us all along.